Please be seated. Since the beginning of this war, UTPA has graduated over 1,500 veterans. Let me now call forth our guest speaker, also a veteran. William J. Toti served for more than 26 years in the United States Navy. 9 years he spent in the Pentagon. His experiences during the December 11th attack on the Pentagon were incorporated into the book Operational Handbook, published by Operation Homecoming, published by Random House. He is a 7-time recipient of the Legion of Merit. Today, he is the Vice President of Integrated Support Solutions for Raytheon Technical Services Company, a wholly owned subsidiary of Raytheon Company. Raytheon Technical Services Company provides mission support, training, counter-terrorism services, product support, homeland security solutions, and customized engineering services for defense, federal, and commercial customers worldwide. Mr. Toti holds a bachelor's degree in physics from the U.S. Naval Academy, a master's degree in spacecraft systems engineering, and pre-doctoral electrical engineering degree from the Naval Postgraduate School. He has more than 20 published articles and op-ed pieces, and was the U.S. Navy Institute Author of the Year in 2001. Please welcome Mr. William J. Toti, Vice President, Integrated Support Solutions for Raytheon Technical Services Company.
Dr. Sorber, distinguished faculty, family members, graduates, guests, welcome. What a glorious day. As Dr. Sorber said, today is a day filled with hope and promise. First, I want to thank you for the opportunity to present what will be your final lecture in your education here at UTPA. As I look out upon all the graduates here today, I can't help but reflect on the fact that this year marks the 30th anniversary of my own graduation from Annapolis. But my family story starts back further than that. 50 years before I graduated from Annapolis, my mother's father climbed into the back of a coal truck and snuck across the Canadian border, and that's how he gained entry into the United States. When he snuck across that border, he was fueled by a single elemental force: hope. The kind of hope that's represented today here. 50 years later, his hope was manifested when I graduated from Annapolis. 17 years after that, he could not possibly have been prouder when I took command of a United States nuclear submarine. That's the kind of hope that's represented here today. Life is exciting and wonderful, but sometimes the most exciting aspect of life is the not knowing what the future will bring. For me, 30 years ago, I could not have known that I would be spending years of my life underwater. I could not have imagined that one day I'd work in the Pentagon and for a short time in the White House. I could not have known that I would become a sea captain and a commander of a great nuclear submarine. I could not have imagined that I would one day be nominated to be an astronaut. I could not have known that I would be in the Pentagon standing a mere 100 yards away from the American Airlines Flight 77 when it impacted the building in what would become the greatest terrorist attack on the history of the United States. Life is exciting and wonderful, but sometimes you must take the bad with the good. And as I look out on all of you today, I can't help but wonder what wonders will be in store for all of you? What miracles of joy await you? What delights are you destined to stumble upon? What amazements will you be able to retrospectively reveal 30 years from now when you're standing up here speaking to another group of graduates? Now, I have no intention of giving you any sage, noble, or wise advice here today, nor am I going to suggest how you should live your lives from this moment forward. Why not? Well, if I gave you advice, chances are you wouldn't listen anyway. Each of you is going to have to find your own way. That's all part of growing up. Second, the truth is, you're not going to remember a single thing I've said today, any more than I recall the commencement address that was given to me 30 years ago. Heck, I heard the President of the United States speak at a commencement address, and I can't remember what he said either. So forget the advice. That's not going to happen. What I can do here today is to help you celebrate the moment. I can help you provide context. You see, every life has moments in time that stand out among all the peaks and valleys of life's journey. For your parents, one such moment was the instant that you were born. For they knew that at that very precise instant, as you let out your very first cry, your life was launched onto a certain trajectory. And here's where, you technical guys, here's where some physics comes in. For absent an external force, your life would have remained on that trajectory forever. That concept in physics is called momentum. But we're all born with a certain kind of living momentum, a state that causes a life to remain on a certain path unless a force is imparted upon it that causes it to change its path. We all know someone whose life's unfortunate outcome was determined at birth. Either they did not have the opportunity to change the course of their life, or they had the opportunity but failed to take advantage of it. But for a lucky and privileged few, you few gathered here today, a powerful force comes along, and if, just if, you position yourself to allow that happy collision to act on your life, you can be enriched and enlightened by it. Only then can you change your life's trajectory. Your education here at UTPA was one such force. Before you arrived here, your life was on a certain trajectory. And by interacting with the educators and professors at this university, your life has forever changed its slope. These changes in slope are called inflection points. For you technical folks, you'll recall that the first derivative of a curve changes at the inflection point. If the slope increases, the derivative becomes more positive. That first derivative represents progress in your life. See? That calculus stuff really does pay off. But the point I'm trying to make here is that you are all at an inflection point today. You have accelerated. Your journey from this moment forward will be on a very different glide slope than your journey up to this point. At first, you may be uncomfortable with the change. You may not enjoy the steepness of the curve. You may long for those innocent days when you didn't have to worry about earning that paycheck, when your responsibilities were limited to your own welfare. And although none of you will remember a thing I've said here today, I promise you, you will remember how you feel right at this moment. You'll remember this moment for all time. It will stand in your memory as among the greatest events of your life, along with your marriage, the birth of your children, and other similarly significant events. But there's an equally important point to be made here. Today is not merely an inflection point in your life, it's an inflection point in the lives of all of your family, including future family members whom you haven't even met yet, the people who raised you and enabled this moment to happen, that person who you don't yet know, who's out there somewhere, destined to become your spouse, your children, yet to be born. I want you to understand that this event today does not just impact you, it is an inflection point in all their lives too, even though they don't know it. The lives of your future family will be on a very different glide slope because of the fact you're sitting here today. This is a lesson your parents understand all too well. I know you appreciate what your parents have gone through to allow you to reach this point. I know you appreciate their sacrifice. I know you understand how much hope they put in the possibility that is represented by the fact that you're sitting here today. You know, a well-known NASA saying is that for every astronaut that travels safely into space, there are thousands of people here on Earth, the ground crew, working behind the scenes who help them get where they're going. The same is true for all of you. For every one of you who sits here today, there are thousands of family members, educators, administrators, and public servants who helped you get where you are. They are your professors, they are the people who built this school, who run it and allow it to operate. They are the teachers who helped to prepare you academically so that you could gain entry into UTPA. They are your parents and grandparents who prodded you when you were 13 years old and in no mood to study for that exam or write that paper. All of those people are part of the team who brought you to this inflection point. They are your ground crew. And of course, the most important members of that team are your family members, those who are here today and those who wish they could be here but can't. So graduates, I'd like to take this a moment to allow you collectively to thank all those in the audience who had a hand in bringing you to this moment. How about a round of applause for your ground crew in the stands? So on behalf of your very proud parents and guardians, on behalf of your family members gathered here today, on behalf of your faculty and staff, on behalf of those future family members that you haven't even met yet, I thank you for persevering through your college experience. I thank you for changing your life and changing their lives. I thank you for reaching this inflection point. So that's it. This is the final moment of your final lecture. I now challenge you with going forth into the world and being a positive force for change. You are the future of our nation and our planet. I challenge you with helping to solve the problems that my generation and generations before us have helped to create. I charge you with the responsibility of taking off on your newly accelerated course and doing your small part to make this a better world. I have every confidence that you are up to the task, and I congratulate you for reaching this high achievement. Thank you, and God bless.
Thank you, Mr. Toti, for that message of hope, hard work, and possibility. I'm now honored to